Hi, I'm Dr. Megan, sports psychologist with Mind of the Athlete, and I am here today with another member of our Mind of the Athlete staff, sports counselor Dr. Rick Neff. And so he's here today, and we are going to be going over 5 tips for you to start your season off strong. So the first tip is sleep. I know I've mentioned sleep a lot before, but it's really a vicious weapon for performance. If you focus on getting your sleep, you really want to clock in at least 8 to 10 hours, heavy towards the 9 or 10 hour side, but consistently sleeping, setting a bedtime, setting a wake up time, really utilizing that consistency of sleep to help you maximize your energy and maximize your performance. For the second tip, Dr. Rick's got it.
Tip 2 is visualization. Visualization is a skill that's often underutilized by many of the athletes that we see coming through our doors. So we spend a lot of time working with our athletes on developing this skill. And what I often say to athletes is play the game in the mind's field. You know, what we can do is 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the game, play the game. Like, how do you want to play? Do you see yourself on the pitching mound? Like, how do you want to pitch? Are you throwing strikes? You know, how's your arm angle? Visualize yourself and how you want to perform on that field. And that can go with all different sports, you know, visualizing your free throws. And other things that we do with athletes is the night before, play the whole game in your head. Lay down in your bed, nice and comfortable, and play that game. Play the game in the mind's field. It's a pretty powerful technique. And what you're also doing with that is programming your body to react the way you want it to react. So what's happening is come game time, you're using more of the hindbrain, which is more of our primitive brain, and less of the frontal brain, which is, you know, the thinking that can sometimes impact our play on the field.
And if you start doing this at the beginning of the season, by the time playoffs come, you're going to be a pro at this. So the third tip that we have, speaking of the postseason, is goals. You really want to set goals throughout the season. However, you want to make sure that your goals are specific. You want them to be measurable. You want them to be something that you can actually attain. You want them to be realistic and also time sensitive. So although having those postseason goals and, you know, we want to get to playoffs, we want to have this type of a record, those goals are really important, but you also want to have some goals that you can achieve and attain every week. So maybe for you as an individual athlete, if there's a certain piece of your technique or your process that you want to focus on this specific week or this specific game, if you want to have certain times that throughout the season, if you're in something like swimming or track, that, you know, you're really measuring how much your time is reducing throughout the season instead of focusing on that ultimate end goal time, what are some stepwise goals that you can achieve throughout your season to continue to give you that motivation to continue going? So set those goals and be really specific about them, time sensitive, and again, think of those SMART goals. Have them throughout your season and season-long goals.
The fourth thing is finding a hobby. You know, oftentimes a lot of athletes come through our door. We're out working with athletes in teams, and they're putting in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of just day in and day out, that daily grind of practicing, and they're not spending time to kind of allow their minds and their bodies to relax. So, you know, we often encourage all the athletes we work with and coaches too to, you know, find something outside of your sport that's going to allow you to sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and clear out your mind and allow your body to relax and to recover.
Absolutely. And so for that 5th tip for starting off your season strong is your attitude. And that's something that only you and you alone can control. And so often having an attitude of gratitude is really helpful for fostering that excitement, which, as research has shown us, is the optimal emotion for performance. So think about how grateful you are for having the opportunity to play this sport, enter into a new season. I know in the beginning of a season it's sometimes more difficult because you don't necessarily know what role you may be playing on this particular team this year. So things aren't necessarily established this early on. However, just being able to control your attitude, being thankful for having the opportunity to be a part of a team, to be a part of something greater than yourself, having the opportunity to play the game that you enjoy for your health, for the support system that you have. So really fostering that attitude of gratitude to, throughout the season, grow your excitement and passion towards showing up and playing every day. So our 5 tips for really starting off the season strong for all of you athletes about to embark on the start of a new season: focus on your sleep, visualize, set your goals, get a hobby outside of your sport, and really focus on your attitude. So I want to thank Dr. Rick Neff so much for joining me today here on Mental Training Monday, and thank you for tuning in. And next week I'll be talking about how to kind of get in your opponent's head and to utilize that from a sports psychology standpoint to help yourself succeed. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing you next week.